Hello everyone, Bradders here with an absolute monster commentary, Road to Whore episode 4. This one is a long one, so you might need a biscuit break at some point. Don't worry if you do need the toilet, just be a man and let it flow, because I've heard that smelly pee pants is the new thing. Anyway, episode 4. Dude, I fucked this bitch. And you're probably thinking right now, dude, your interpretation of women, you're quite harsh on them, but I'm not, it's just for the sake of the commentary, I suppose. Anyway, where to start? Right, well, I was in my mid-15s when I finally managed to poke the mantelpiece with my fishing rod. So, first of all, let me tell you a bit about the girl. I can't name her because the relationship went really bad at parts and I don't fancy getting beaten up by her uncle again. So let's start with the basics. We were dating for a few months. All the sexual activity started when we started skipping school basically, and we used to go to her house because her parents were at work. I can't actually believe I'm going to share this with you, but this is actually pretty funny. Anyway, so we used to chill at her house, but it soon started getting more intimate between us, and we were just in there and we were just kissing. And by then I had a bit of experience and I just slipped my hand straight down her pants, no messing, instant boner from that. And thank fuck that she had a nice shaven vagina. I didn't fancy getting any more splinters in my hand. So I was just working the pussy at this stage, and she seemed to like it. The response from her was good. She was moaning in positive ways. And I had recently come up with this crafty way of getting a girl to remove their pants whilst you're fingering them. If you're at a stage where you finger this girl but you've not got any further, try this. I used to always say, my hand hurts, or I can't get in, I'm struggling, because every time I bend my hand, my wrist hurts. Your pants are in the way, and that makes them move the pants, or at least unbutton the pants and pull them down a little bit. And that helped, and I've tried that on so many girls now after this, and it's worked a treat. It just worked first time. I just go, I can't get to you, your pants are in the way, and they just remove the pants, and it's like, hell yeah. So I was just sort of working the vagina, and obviously she by this stage had no pants on, and this was my first ever close-up look at the vagina, because she was lay on the couch and I was sat up on the couch down at her waist, so I could see everything. And at first I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is that monster? I ain't poking that. So we were carrying on, we was kissing, and I was at that stage, I was sort of groping her boobs and stuff like that, and she was liking it. She was starting to get moist. It was easing up the pressure on my finger, and she literally just said, "Get your cock out." And this is the first time she's ever said that to me. So I stood up, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I just pulled my pants down, and I had such a hairy bush, you wouldn't believe it. But it was winter time. Fuck shaving in winter, I want to keep nice and warm down there. And she just literally just leaned up off the couch, came over to me and just wrapped her mouth around my mushroom tip. I instantly almost peed in her mouth with excitement. It was unreal. It was absolutely unreal. The sensation was brilliant. There's nothing better than a nice warm mouth, a female's mouth, wrapped around your mushroom tip. It is just immense. It's the best feeling ever. Anyway, so the part where it started to get fucked up, or should I say she started to freak out, we had no protection, so she wouldn't let me give her some mushroom tipping. Mushroom tipping, that's a new one. So I left it in her mouth and started to remove the top, and I removed the top and she took off her bra, and I was dazzled by the sight of tits. I mean, I've seen so many tits on porno movies, but at that age I've never seen any in the flesh up close without a bra on, and I was like, oh my god. And I was sucking them tits for so long. It was quite funny actually. She had these big fucking burger nipples. They're quite nice. I didn't mind them. At that age you'll take anything. So by then I was well turned on at this stage, and obviously so was she. So I was sucking on her tits for ages, and I'm pretty good at multitasking. I had a finger inside of her, and I was basically, fuck it, I'm gonna just be intimate. I was wanking off while fingering her at the same time, I can't actually believe I'm sharing this, but you know, fuck it, details make it good, right? So I was almost about to come, so I stopped fingering her for a second, I pulled out of her, and I just carried on tugging myself off, and she was just looking at my eyes, you know, we were just having eye contact, and the next minute I just spermed everywhere, and it went all over her tits, and this was fucking brilliant. This was a priceless moment. It was so good. She just started, I wasn't touching her, okay? She just started moaning like she was having an orgasm, and she started rubbing the cum all into her tits, and it was amazing. It was, at first I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I realised, oh, she's enjoying this. And you know, she was just touching herself, just touching her boobs while moaning it, and she loved it. And we stopped and got cleaned up after that and sat back on the couch, and I spoke to her about it. I said, did you like that? She went, yeah, I think it was because it was you cum and it was all warm and I wasn't expecting it. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was still horny, so I had to carry on fingering her after that. And after that, all we ever did when we met each other was just sexually abuse each other. Once you make that certain commitment or you go over that line, you stay above that line, and it's just fun all the time. I mean, I remember going down on her for the first time ever, and this was a real close-up of her vagina. You know, you get sort of waist height with them, you spread the lips apart, and then you're looking in, you're like, fuck me, that's like a clown's pocket. And if I'm honest, it did smell like a fishmonger, but anyway, being Dora the Explorer, I threw my tongue in there, and it wasn't that bad. Although, if you haven't done it before, I do advise practicing holding your breath for a long time, because some vaginas do smell. The smell does vary. She was probably a 7 out of 10, meaning 10's the worst, 0's the best. That's actually bad. I should rate. I could rate all the vagina smells I've been with out of 10. Oh Jesus, that'd be fucking hilarious. So anyway, moving on. Her family sort of knew that we were up to sexy time, and because of that, her mum didn't really like me very well. And if I'm honest, this did not stop me one bit, because I knew I was so close to dipping her vagina, and a real vagina. And I say real because I once fucked a cherry pie. Not. So time went on, and her uncle is a tough guy. He's someone you don't want to, you know, you don't want to mess with him. You want to stay on the right side of him, and I ended up on the wrong side of him. And let me tell you the background of this. I was only 15 at the time, and me and the girlfriend were talking about him. And you know when you joke around and go, oh, I'll knock him out, I'll take him. You know, you're having a laugh, aren't you? And you know, even my girlfriend was laughing about it. She knew I was joking, and she told her parents in a conversation, and even they were laughing like, ah, that's quite funny, because they know I was joking. And her parents then told her uncle, and her uncle didn't like it at all. He didn't say it, he didn't see it in the joking way that I meant it. And obviously the girlfriend really shouldn't have told anyone that I was joking about it and stuff like that, and it wouldn't have happened. But I remember walking down the street with her, and we bumped into him. This was a couple of weeks after he had found out, and he had come back from the pub, so he was a little bit drunk, and he literally beat my ass down so bad. I'm not gonna lie, I was crying. I curled up in a ball on the floor, cowering like a little bitch, and it really hurt. You know, he was a big guy, he was tough, he was the guy of the, you know, the sort of area that everyone's afraid of, and he beat me up, you know. So he left, and the girlfriend was crying, and I got up off the floor, and luckily he didn't hit my sexy face, so I didn't have any visible marks. I could cover all the bruising around my ribs up with you know, a jacket or a t-shirt. So the girlfriend was crying, and she ran off. She ran home, and I just walked home. You know, I went home. I didn't tell my parents. My parents still don't know up till today. You know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years on, they still don't know about it. The girlfriend told her mum, and her mum rang her uncle, or her mum's brother basically, and she went mad. And he phoned me and apologised. But about a week after that phone call, I was really debating whether it was worth seeing this girl ever again. You know, I've been through quite a lot with her. She cheated on me quite a few times, and I kept taking her back. You know, her uncle was you know, beating me up and things like that. But you know, things started to move to the next level. So I thought, hang on a minute, I need to stay here, because I'm so close to that mantelpiece. Pretty amazing thinking about it now, actually, how we ended up actually having sex. But I remember it being a weekend, and it was coming up to tea time. So we went to the local chippy, and I bought her some chips and gravy, and got myself some chips, gravy and a sausage, just to assert my authority, to show that I'm more superior to her. So we used to hang out down these old factories, and it was down a big hill where literally no one could see unless they walked up to you. And I didn't actually think anything was going to happen. It was just a normal evening. We just finished our chippy, we were just having a laugh sat on this brick wall, and she stood up and we started to kiss. And around 2 minutes later, I could be approximate 2 minutes later, I stuck my fingers down her pants, and her pants were in the way, so I tried that little finger again. I was like, oh, I can't get to you, your pants are in the way. So she unbuttons her pants and she pulls them down sort of halfway up her thighs, if you can picture that. And it was amazing, you know. A moment of madness came over me, and I remember watching this porno a few weeks before, and this guy was rubbing his bell end on this girl's vagina with his mushroom tip. So I thought I'd give that a try. So I literally, you know, moment of madness, I pulled my cock out, and my mushroom tip was, you know, stood proud, and I just leaned into it and I was just rubbing her vagina with it. You know, if you can picture her stood up and me stood up, and I was just rubbing it, and she liked it, you know. And we sort of just made eye contact, and it was quite strange. I just said, do you want me to? And she just looked at me and said yeah, and then started kissing me. So as we were kissing, I sort of put her onto the floor, not forcefully obviously. At the time my heart was fucking beating. You could hear it going boom 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 boom, and you wouldn't believe it. You know, I was so turned on. My cock was struggling to stay up. But anyway, being the trooper I was, I went in for it. So I had no idea what to expect, what to do. I literally, luckily, found the hole straight away, thank God, because that would have been an awkward moment itself. So I'm not going to lie, she was so tight, you know, my cock was hurting me, and it didn't feel nice one bit. I didn't enjoy it, but I carried on going, you know, in and out very slowly, and she didn't look like she was enjoying it either, but then again she didn't say stop. So we carried on for literally anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, you know. It wasn't, you know, brilliant in total, and it was hitting my cock so much, so I pulled out and put it away, and she pulled her pants up and just stood there. There was awkward silence for a couple of minutes while we both just realised what we've done. Obviously I didn't come, she didn't come, it was just, you know, it was just an experience. Then I realised I had blood all over my white tracksuit top. To give you an idea on how much blood there was, my top was white, okay, and it ended up red. Basically, you know, I broke her in because, you know, when you sleep with a girl for the first time, some girls bleed, some don't, you know, and she bled. But what was strange is she didn't even look like she was in pain. She just got on with it like a fucking trooper. You know, and walking back, we looked dodgy as hell. Walking up the main road with mud on our pants, blood on my top. It didn't look good. So I walked her home, gave her a kiss goodbye, and then I went to meet my parents because they were at my brother's house, and I got a lift home with them. I hid my tracksuit top, or I turned it inside out so they couldn't see it. And when I got home, I had to obviously show my mum. So I just walked into the kitchen where our washing machine is and I said, Mum, and I pulled out the tracksuit top, and her face looked terrified. And I said, we didn't know that my girlfriend was on a period. And my mum just like shaked her head, and she just put it straight in the wash on its own. And when it came out, the white tracksuit was just all pink. So, you know, we threw that away. Me and the girlfriend at the time, we sort of seen each other a few other times after that. But the icing on the cake was when she cheated on me with my best friend, which I think I have done a commentary on. Look out for that. I think it's called When Girls Cheat. Basically, she cheated on me with my best friend, and so I ended up dumping her in school, and I actually beat him up in school, and I got expelled for it, and I absolutely hate cheaters. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for that girl. You know, I slept with her in a very, very strange way. Outside for the first time, probably not ideal. I would like to think that a lot of people would like to hang on and do it with the right person, and looking back, I would like to have done it with the right person, but you never know when the right person's going to come along. So if it's a girl in front of you who wants it, just fucking give it her, you know what I mean? I mean, I'll bang anything these days. I so hope my girlfriend don't listen to that part. I'll fuck anything, seriously. Anyway, I could get into that into detail, but I'm not going to. So I've got some ace commentaries coming up for you guys. Just a couple of subjects I'm going to talk to you about which contain a lot of details. Just for example, I'm thinking about doing a commentary on in labour with my girlfriend when she gave birth to our son. I mean, it was the best thing ever, but fuck me, that was the hardest thing in my life to go through. It was unreal, and not in a good way, I wish it was unreal. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. Feedback, as usual, would be really good. Have a nice day, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Goodbye for now. Mwah.